What's going on, guys? It's Rengawr. Today we're going to be going over early wipe weapons. Now, starting off with Bear versus USEC. TLDR, I never pick Bear, and the reason is I can't stand how loud the character sounds are. You're just like, there's so much more like jingling with like your equipment, and the breathing sounds are ridiculous. I just can't stand how loud it is constantly, and it gives me a headache to play for multiple hours a day. So I really can't do it. Gigabeef just made a really in-depth video on every single difference between Bear and USEC. If you want to go watch that, just check it out. Check out his channel. Go watch it. It's a good video. But for my purposes, I go USEC every wipe, unless they're going to fix the way that Bear sounds. Starting off, I wanted to go with Prapor. We're going to talk about the SKS. Now, SKS is one of my favorite guns to use early because you get semi-auto. It's cheap. There's not much to mod. And that's pretty much it. Now, the only problem with the SKS early is the fact that you don't have access to good ammo. We used to be able to get PS ammo on level 1 Prapor. That's gone now. What we get now instead is if you go to, I believe it's Skier on level 1, you can buy the SP rounds, which they're not great, but they will get the job done. They have 20 pen and 68 damage, so it'll go through people's P.A.K.As. The helmets are probably going to bounce a round or two. So that's kind of up to you. And you can loot any scav that you kill for the FMJ rounds. Any scav that has an SKS or an 7.62 AK is going to have FMJ rounds probably. And you can use those instead of the SP rounds for your weapon. Now, it's important to note that the brown SKS cannot take a sight, but if you get level 1 Jaeger, you can buy the OP SKS. And that can take any dovetail sight. So that would include the Cobra sight from level 1 Prapor, as well as this PK1 sight from level 1 Prapor. As well as, I mean, you have the night scope if, like, you really want to use it. Sure, it's night vision in a scope. Or you can use the PSO scope, which is a more sniper-style scope. Any of those would work. With the brown one, you cannot mount any scope on here. And with the white one, you can. And something to note as well is from Peacekeeper, level 1, you can actually buy the 20-round magazine for the SKS. So you have the option with the SKS to make it either just, you know, internal mag and you just bring loose ammo in your pockets to load it, or you could bring attack rig, you buy your magazines, and you actually take this internal mag out, and now you have a 20 rounder in your gun, and you can either choose to bring in loose bullets and reload this 20 rounder instead, or bring in a second 20 rounder and you can just reload like a normal gun, like an AK. So you have choices there. I think it's a great choice. I like it a lot. And I'll bring it into a raid and I'll shoot it just so you guys can see what the recoil kind of looks like. Now, one of my favorite options is the AKS-74UN, and I'm thinking I might use this a lot. The main reason is it's cheap, it's easy to mod, the bullets you can get in abundance, and you know, it's got a full auto, which can, you know, come in early, or come in helpful early wipe. So there are two 74Us on Prapor. There is the regular 74U and the UN. Legit, the only difference between these two guns is this little mount right here. It's a dovetail mount. Any like gun with an N has like a dovetail mount. I guess not any gun, but like any AK with a, you know, N is a dovetail mount. So like AK-74N, stuff like that. So this is going to let you put a sight on here early. So if you don't care about a sight, use the AKS-74U, which is the cheaper one. If you want a sight, use the 74UN. And you can, again, put on the Cobra, or you can put on the PK1, or you can put on the night scope if you want night vision, I guess, and play a night map, or you can even use the PSO to get some long-range kills. All that's up to you. And then when it comes to ammo, you're going to want to be using US ammo for this. Now, US ammo has, doesn't have the best muzzle velocity, but it does have better stats than PRS. You can use PRS if you want to be able to, like, hit shots farther away more consistently, but the only difference is that the US ammo has a better chance of going through people's P.A.K.As early. So I would go with US personally, but that's up to you. You can use both, and then you obviously have your 30-round mags. But this is a gun that I'm probably going to stick to quite a bit, and I'll show you what it looks like, again, with level 1 skills. And then I'm just going to mention the Mosin, mainly because this is a gun that I used to always use a ton. But the problem with the Mosin, well, it's not even really a problem, but the reason I don't really want to use the Mosin too much this wipe is I am not really in need of sniper skill that much anymore because they made that early sniper skill quest not so important. I believe it's like the requirement's kind of a joke. And any of the sniper level you need for Kappa now, you pretty much just get for doing all the sniping quests. So the grind with reloading a Mosin and getting the sniper skill isn't really a big deal anymore. So I'm kind of put it off to the side. Don't even really get the ammo at level 1 either. You'd have to unlock Jaeger to get it right away. So I'm not too worried about using it. I'm probably going to put it to the side and use the 74U like I said. But let's jump over to Skier. Now, something with Skier that I want to mention is I like using the Adar a lot early wipe. But the Adar is a little expensive. It's about 45k to get one of these. But if you ever pull out a scav's Adar from a raid, it's going to have trash durability. But what you can do is instead of paying your 45k for an Adar, you can pull out that junk Adar and buy a brand new Adar 15 lower. So if you take this lower, you can swap all the parts from the other Adar right onto it, and now you have full durability Adar. So you have that single fire ability. And then the only problem with the Adar after it's all swapped over is going to be that that gas block is actually, you know, in the way of your sight. So what I like to do is you can buy the micro H2 reflex, the aim point micro spacer high, and the micro H2 standard mount. Now these two just go together normally, but if you use the spacer in between the two of them, now you have a raised sight, which actually lets you see decently over your gas block. Now you can still see it, but the gun is usable in my opinion, and I do not mind shooting it like that. The only ammo I really have access to early on is going to be this MK255 mod 0 ammo, which really is kind of terrible ammo. It doesn't really even pen pack it reliably on the first bullet. What you can do is you can choose to unload all of the ammo you get from your M4s if you're USEC and use that M855 until you're out of it. If you don't want to use M4s, it's up to you. But this same sight would work great on top of an M4. It's up to you, obviously, but you can take the same 3 sight spacer and put it on top of there and use it if you want. It doesn't really matter either way, but those are options for you to have. The next thing I want to go over is going to be... I guess we'll throw in a shotgun. I'm not really a big shotgun guy, to be honest with you. But I actually think that the Mossberg shotgun is one of the nicest shotguns in the game. So, like, the problem with it, obviously, is it's a pump-action shotgun. It has such clean, like, iron sights that I always use this for all my shotgun quests. Like, when it comes to, like, killing scavs at shotguns. Because if you get a slug, you can, like, snipe with that thing. It's so accurate. And the iron sight is so good. I'll go into a raid and I'll show what that looks like as well. But it's really nice. You're going to have to go through Jaeger for the shotgun rounds, I'm pretty sure. You can get buckshot off of Skier as well as lead slugs, but I think you get more options off Jaeger. I don't know. I'm not a big, like, shotgun guy in general, but it's worth mentioning, like, if you're doing any of these, like, shotgun quests, where you got to kill scavs, like, I love this shotgun quest. Just because you can go in cheap with it. It's like you can kill a scav, get their thing. And if you go in, like, naked with this thing, it's so easy to, like, take a slug and get a headshot on a scav. Just take their kit and keep going. So I just wanted to show you these different weapons. So first off, here's the Adar. This is with the riser sight. You see, it's not like too bad with the gas block in front of you. It does a pretty good job at blocking most of it. And this is what shooting it's like. Again, this is level 1 skills for everything. You know, that's not too much recoil for what it is. This is the M4 with the riser sight, full auto. For level 1 skills, again, that's not too bad. That's a pretty usable gun, especially if you're tapping it or bursting it. You have the option to full auto it, tap it, or burst it. Pretty usable gun. Alright, now the 74UN, one of my favorites to go to right now. Again, you could change the reticles with this, but I'll go with this one. Pretty much a laser beam. You get a nice little sight picture. It's pretty zoomed in. You can see, you can tap, you can burst. And again, level 1 skills. Drop that. All right, now this is your SKS with your 20 round mag. This is what it looks like. Pretty good. Again, it like doesn't really move. All these guns are stock and you're pretty much good to go. And then honorable mention is just that Mossberg shotgun, like I said. I honestly think this is like one of the cleanest iron sights in the game. So if you have like slugs, you really can just like snipe scavs or even just hold an angle and get your one free headshot. I don't know. I've always loved this shotgun. In terms of like, you know, you can't semi-auto this thing, but iron sights, it's so beautiful. All right, guys, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed. Best of luck out there. And if you haven't seen, check out my wipe guide down below. Peace out.